second act of Siegfried opens outside a cave. Since the end of Das Rheingold, the ring has remained in the hands of the giant Fafner, who earned it for building Wotan's castle, Valhalla. We meet Fafner again now, but as ever, there's a complication. Thanks to the magic of the Tarnhelm, Fafner has turned himself into a dragon. Mime wants Siegfried to enter the cave and kill it. Siegfried is left alone in the forest. He sings of nature all around him, but with a growing sense of his own identity, he gradually realizes that he cannot be Mime's son. He's been brought up only to help the dwarf get his hands on the ring. Now, acting for himself, Siegfried succeeds in killing the dragon with his magic sword Notung and taking the ring. Meanwhile, Mime has prepared a poisoned drink so that he can kill Siegfried and take the ring for himself. Mime is sometimes seen as an expression of Wagner's anti-Semitism, a very dark side of the composer's genius. But Wagner's anti-Semitism doesn't appear only in his music. There's a written record of it.
Wagner wrote Judaism in Music, Das Judentum in der Musik, this anti-Semitic tirade, if you like, while he was working on the Ring in 1851. So it must have something to do with the Ring, because nothing Wagner wrote and published was ever not to do with what he was doing artistically at the time. He wouldn't have wasted his time. All of this is really part of a discussion at the time, in the middle of the 19th century, about the role of race, about the role of the Jews, which was part of liberal debate. There's no evidence that Wagner's works incited anti-Semitism in the 1920s or whatever, but there is plenty of evidence that Wagner's anti-Semitism was real and important and central to the way he thought.
A lot of the appalling and terrible anti-Semitism in The Ring centres around the character of Mime. There's a strange place in the second act of Siegfried where Mime is telling the truth to Siegfried, i.e. he speaks absolutely what he is thinking rather than what he wants to say, and he gets himself in a terrible muddle because he keeps telling Siegfried, I basically want to kill you, I want to kill you. And I have Mime at these points turn into a rat. He puts on a rat's head. There have been discussions about how Mime's music sounds a bit like Jewish cantor music, how words describing his movements in the libretto, in the stage instructions, are exactly words that Wagner uses to talk about Jews in society. I think you have to plant it in a production as subtly and as obscurely as perhaps it's become part of Wagner's thinking in the piece. What you can never do is deny it, and you should never acknowledge that this is not a problem for anyone who loves these pieces.